What's up, y'all? It's Otaku Tavern back at you with another video, and hope everybody's doing well today or tonight. And if you like the type of content that I create, make sure you like, subscribe, click the bell notification so that you don't miss a video, all that stuff, or don't if you don't want to. And if you like the games we play, you know, play the same games and stuff. But anyway, so we're gonna get into this. So what I want to talk about tonight is how GameStop is not the same anymore. You know, I remember, you know, when I was a teenager walking into GameStop, and it's like, you know, GameStop today is so different, y'all. Like back from what it used to be. Like it's so different. Like, you know, like the thing with like GameStop is like it used to be a fun. Hey, how's it going? A fun place to, like, you know, kind of just, you know, go to get like games and
I'm going in.
all that stuff, right? And it's like, you know, GameStop, like, don't get me wrong, man, there's still some good stuff there, but it's like, I feel like that they should kind of change their name, because in a lot of these GameStops, you know, you can't find retro games, you know, and you can't even hardly find many modern games. Like, you know, and what I mean by that is like the games, like within GameStop itself, like you can tell they've really shrunk, like than what they were, say, I don't know, 6 years ago.
I'll tell you about it sometime.
Or 7 years ago. It's just not the same. And, you know, I feel like one of the reasons for this, it's become more like a kind of like a trading card shop vibe with a collectible vibe. Like, you know, most GameStops I go in, like literally over half the store, over half the store is collectibles and, you know, cards. And it's like, why did GameStop go to this? Like, I mean, I feel like that they probably should just change their name. You know, GameStop, honestly, like, I feel like is probably a company that's definitely going under, right? You know, a lot of people's like, oh, well, they're alive and well. And it's like, yeah, you know, GameStop is struggling, bro. You can tell they're freaking struggling, man. It's just, you know, the thing with it is like, you go in there, right, and the first thing you see is like Funko Pops, right? The first thing you see is literally Funko Pops. And you know, that right there alone, I mean, I'm not saying if you like Funko Pops that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that, like, you're supposed to be a video game store, right? And, you know, it would make sense that you would mostly sell video games. And it's like, you know, this is honestly not the case anymore.
You've captured more than half of the mission area.
It just really genuinely isn't. And it's like, you know,
Behold, Dark Child!
that really sucks because, like, you know, GameStop when I was younger, like, you know, they were, you know, I feel like GameStop was probably like peak, you know, when I was younger. And it's like, you know, it's not like that no more. Like, GameStop now is like, you know, I don't even go in there. When I, like, well, I mean, what I mean is, like, I don't go in there. I go in there, but I don't go in there with the intent to, like, buy games, right? Like, I only go in there for, like, certain collectibles, or, you know, at best, like, maybe like a controller, maybe. But it's just like, you know, it's just not the same. And, you know, like, the thing with GameStop, too, is, like, you know, it used to sell, like, a lot of, like, retro games, you know, like, I remember back when my GameStop sold, like, oodles and oodles of, like, PlayStation 2 games, Wii games, Xbox 360, PS3, you know, all these, like, retro games. And, you know, just this month, you know, GameStop now, like, said that the Wii U, the Xbox 360, and the PS3 are now retro consoles, and all the games are now retro games. And it's like, you know, sure, I get it, time flies. But it's like, why are they even saying this when they don't even focus on selling retro games? As a matter of fact, a lot of GameStops, when you trade in, like, games like that, they throw them in the dumpster, bro. Like, they just throw them in the dumpster, in the trash.
Get ready.
Like, and I'll tell you how I know this, because I've dumpster dived at a GameStop before, many a times. I'm very well, and it's like, you know,
the fox spirit lives within
a lot of the stuff, it just, it either goes in the garbage, or it goes to some other place that is not GameStop, right? Like, or maybe the workers might be like, well, I'm going to take this home, ain't, you know, the boss ain't going to care, like, kind of thing. But, like, you know, the love for retro games and GameStop is completely dead. Like, and even the love for, like, modern games, you know, like I was saying, is pretty much dead too. Like, games as a whole in GameStop is pretty much dead, like, completely, because it's just collectibles. It's just trading cards. You know, it's just Funko Pops, right? Like, most of GameStop is Funko Pops, seriously. Like, you know, every time I ever go into a GameStop, that's the main thing I see. And I mean, it's just a big, long shelf full of just Funko Pops that just sat there, bro. Like, and it's like, you know, yeah, sure, they have, like, some plushes and stuff of, like, say, like, Pokemon or other things, or if you get lucky, you might find, like, a good anime figure, you know, or you might find some good, cool shirts. But, you know, other than that, bro, like, the game section is, like, very, like, very small. Like, the Switch section is small, like, the PlayStation section is small, the Xbox section is small, right? And it's just brutal, y'all. Like, it honestly really is. It is just brutal, like, to have to go in a store that's like, well, I mean, you don't have to go, but like, it's just dumb. Like, you know, dang it, Jeff. Come on, spit me out. Dang it.
You've captured more than half of the
It's like, you know,
Keep going.
they need to change their name from GameStop to Collectible Stop, or like Funko Stop, or, you know, something like that, bro, because it's definitely not game focused anymore. Like, it definitely isn't, you know, because the thing, I'll tell you the reason why, because of the digital aspect. You know, the thing is like, GameStop is going to probably have, like, it's going to have to switch its name eventually if it's going to stay in business, because I think once digital is all in, like, you know, there's no discs being made, like, GameStop will either face bankruptcy or they will have to rebrand as a company and just sell collectibles of like games or something like that, or and trading cards, Funko Pops, and then change their name, because that's honestly what they really need to do now. I'm going to be honest with you, because it's like, you know, GameStop don't do midnight releases no more. They don't really, sure, you can pre-order, but it's like a lot of times they just tell you to pre-order the game on the site, like, and just have it shipped to you. Or like, you know, and if you do pre-order a game like in GameStop, a lot of times you'll have like 1 or 2 people come and pick up the game. Like, they don't even get a lot of copies shipped to them. You know, and it's like they got like a lot of these other garbage games that just sat there, nobody buys them. You know, these could be like titles that failed, you know, political driven titles that nobody wants. Like, it just sits there on the shelf, bro. Like, I mean, GameStop is definitely not how it used to be. And, you know, like I mentioned, you can find some cool clothes in there, like shirts and stuff, but like, and maybe some backpacks and stuff, but like a little bit of anime merch, but, you know, I feel like that they really need to change their name, because like, the reason I say this is like, you know, they want to like give you these like pennies for these games, right? That they're either A, going to take home themselves, B, throw in the garbage, or C, send it to elsewhere, right? And, you know, the shelves are so barren too. Like, you know, like, it's just like, if it's not a massive AAA title like Call of Duty, or like a massive AAA title within America, you know, and obviously anime games do not fit this role. Japanese games do not fit this role. Even Resident Evil does not fit this role. Like, I'm talking like a AAA game like Call of Duty, or like GTA 6 coming out, right? Now, that one might actually get a lot of attention at GameStop, possibly. Now, I don't know. More people may just buy that digitally. I'm not really sure. But, I mean, the game is going to be $80 from what they're saying. And, you know, I knew the whole thing with, like, the game being $100 was bullcrap, right? But, like, you know, it's like, you know, they've gone all in with, like, TCG now. Like, GameStop has gone all in with TCG. This can be Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering, sports cards, you know, and they even offer like in-store grading now. Like, you can get your like PSA 10 cards and stuff, right? Like, you can get these cards graded. And it's like, you know, also you got like collectibles and blind boxes. This takes up about 30% or more of the sales floor completely. Like, I would honestly say about a good 50%. And, you know, they're basically larger and have better profit margins basically than a $70 game disc, right? You know, and then they have, like, other things like, you know, like the warehouses that just, stuff just sits there. And, you know, it's like, it's a very bitter pill to swallow if you're looking for like good, even modern games or old retro games like GameCube titles or whatever. You know, it's very hard to even like get these because like, I don't know, like, I miss when GameStop was GameStop. You know, and the thing is like, you know, as far as the Funko Pops, believe it or not, you know, collectibles and trading cards, they make about like 33% of like their total sales, right? Like, you may like, oh, that's not much, you know. Well, yeah, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot when you're talking about a store with mostly that in it. And, you know, because a lot of people don't go to GameStop anymore. Like, they really don't. And because it's just changed. It's not, you know, it's not how it used to be where you just get you good games and stuff. It's like, you see some people in there buying games, but it's like not a lot, you know. And it's like, you know, and a lot of these Funko Pops are like $15 a piece, or, you know, and that makes a lot more money than a $70 game disc, right? Like, because, like I say, people do not buy games from GameStop hardly anymore. Like, I can't remember the last time I even bought a game from GameStop. Like, it's probably been about a good 3 to 4 years since I bought a game at GameStop. I get my disc games elsewhere now, like eBay or Play Asia, right? And it's like, you know, GameStop is just not what it once was, you know, and like in just 2026, like right now, bro, there are nearly like 300 stores were closed, confirmed to close in January, and one of them was near me, like in a town like, I don't know, 45 minutes away about that. Like, you know, and I've been to this one several times, and it shut its doors because nobody was going. The only thing they were selling was TCG and, you know, Funko Pop stuff and collectibles. Like, you know, so it's like, you know, I feel like GameStop as a whole is going to either A, have to rebrand, like I said, or B, they're going to have to change their name and just keep selling collectibles and totally ditch games, period. Because it's like nobody's hardly buying these games at GameStop. I've been in there multiple times, and it's like, you might have people trading in stuff, and then it's like they leave after that, or like, you know, or they'll like use it to buy like digital cards, right? Or maybe put it towards like a hard drive, or, you know, something like that, man. Like, it's not anything to do with like gaming, you know. It's like they've moved from like the pre-order only mentality for like anything that isn't a massive hit, like I said, unless it's like Call of Duty, GTA. You know, if you didn't reserve a copy, they don't even have a second one behind the counter. They don't even have a first one behind the counter. Like, you know, it's like, you know, they don't get many games at all. Like, it's got to be a high AAA American title for them to get a bunch of copies. And even then, it just depends on what it is, bro. Like, if it's not like one of the major titles, like I said, Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty or something like that, bro, like it's not happening, you know. And I don't know, it's just sad to see that store turn out how it's turned out, because it's like, you know, I would say the only, like, exception is, like, there's a very small number of locations that are, like, GameStop retro stores, and I feel like these probably make the most money, because they're actually selling games. I feel like they make the most money. Like, I feel like most GameStops are underperforming. Like, you know, that's why they close a lot of these down, is because a lot of these things underperform.
The end has come, but just for you.
Like, that's any business, but GameStop is constantly announcing, like, store closures all the time, bro. Like, it's all the time. And, you know, when a business is doing, I mean, sure, inflation, I guess, plays a part of it, but I would say that's probably not the biggest thing for GameStop. Like, you know, I don't know, like, it's just really sad to see, because it's like a ghost town, bro. Like, and like, this is pretty, you know, cold hard data. You know, like, their sales for games, like, in the last quarter alone, literally crashed by 30%, bro. Like, you know, that's a major crash. And, you know, they're not buying these games there no more. You know, and then a lot of people aren't even trading them in, to be honest. Like, you know, because a lot of people, if they have their physical games, they're keeping them, obviously. I don't really understand why you would want to sell them anyway. You know, why buy a game you're just going to sell? But, like, and it's like, you know, they've already closed around 400 stores now in 2026. So, you know, it's just, they're not even really trying to compete with, like, PlayStation and Xbox digital stores and Nintendo digital stores. They're not even really trying to compete with this. Like, they've pretty much just thrown in the towel on this. And, like, that, it was good while it lasted, you know, it was good while it lasted. And, you know, it was like, GameStop I used to go to a few years ago closed. Yeah, one near me closed. I got one more in that town that I talked about where that toxic group was, and you know, like some other like the nostalgic businesses I talked about that I went to, and like the GameStop that I go to now, that's where that's at. The where the Five Below is and all that, right? Like, that's the town I'm speaking of. But, like, you know, the GameStop there, I feel like, you know, they want to try to hide it, but I know they're underperforming, bro. They're underperforming because every time I go in there, there might be like 1 to 2 people tops in there. Like, that's it. And it's like, you know, I don't think there's really a massive peak in people that go there anymore. And it's like, you know, it's in a mall too, so it's like people aren't going to malls anymore. You know, that's another thing that's died, sadly, and like that really sucks too. But it's like, you know, it's just, I don't know. I miss that when GameStop used to be GameStop, bro. Like, you'd come home with like a handful of games, regardless if they're retro or modern. Like, yeah, I mean, the GameStop that is in a mall where I go, and it's like a lot of the people don't even go to this mall, bro. Like, this mall, like, probably the main store that has the most people in it is probably the Dollar Tree, to be honest. Like, that's probably the main business in the mall that, like, has a pretty good amount of people in it. all the other stores are dreadfully empty. It's like a ghost town in there, and it's like this town has been fighting for a couple of years to keep this mall open because people just aren't going to it anymore. And it's like I predict within the next couple of years that it'll probably just go under, right? But you know, it's like another thing too is like, you know, as far as like the collectibles, bro, you can get like way better deals on eBay. And it's like, I don't know, they just need to rebrand and change their name, bro. That's what they need to do, because it's just not what it once was, and I miss it, you know, it'll be missed. But yeah, GameStop is not what it once was. But I think it'd be cool to go and like. Now I'll tell you about this. There's this one thing on YouTube, and I watch this guy's channel, right? And they have their own website. Like, and I'm going to be ordering from them because they sell just all types of video games, bro. Video games, like consoles and controllers, memory cards, all this retro stuff, retro games, retro consoles, modern games. Like they sell it all, bro. And it's like if you they're on YouTube, and this guy like shows how he packs the orders and stuff, and it's like, you know, it's very neat. Like I plan on ordering from him, you know, sometime soon. But like it's a site called the Video Game Company, and that's actually their YouTube channel name as well. And he basically he'll like get a name and record like what this person ordered, and like show them going throughout the shop, like getting the games and whatever else they ordered, the memory cards or whatever, or consoles, whatever. And he'll put them on this card, and then he'll like start packaging them up, and he'll record himself packaging them up, like, you know, showing he packages it really good. And you know, it's like it's top tier, bro. Like, it's literally top tier. Like, it's something that GameStop could never be anymore. And it's like, you know, yeah. So if you're like interested in that, go check that out. You know, you might like that. Yeah, guys, y'all might like that. But I plan on ordering from it. But yeah. You know, what do you miss about GameStop? What do you
Spirit pulls me back to battle.
What do you guys miss about GameStop? But anyway, this has been another video. This one isn't going to be long. This is going to be fairly short, but yeah, it's just, I plan on going in there pretty soon for, like, shirts, graphic tees and stuff, but, like, you know, used to, like, when I went to GameStop, I'll say this before I stop the video, but, like, I used to get, like, I used to spend, like, some good money in there, bro. Like, I spent, like, good money. Like, you know, I'm talking over $100, bro. Like maybe even over 200. Like, you know, on their modern games, or like, you know, their retro games. I like both, you know. But I bought a lot of their modern games too, and it's like, you know, now it's like like if I spend like $100 in there, it's like maybe with some like, or over $100, it'll be like anime figures, or just graphic tees, or maybe like a plushie. Like that's about it, bro. Like that's all I buy in there anymore. Like maybe a controller, or like a hard drive possibly. I mean, really, you can get hard drives cheaper at Walmart, so probably not even that. But it's like, you know, yeah, bro. It's
my spirit pulls me back to
It's just, I don't know. I miss it, but anyway, this has been another video.
Only 60 seconds left.
Yeah, if y'all remember GameStop, let me know down in the comments. And what was your favorite memory from GameStop? You know, what was your favorite things about GameStop? And yeah, you know, all good things come to an end, bro. But anyway, yeah, see you guys.